Good morning, my fellow yogic travelers. I'm mighty glad to be alive today, and I hope that you are too as we continue to live, laugh, love, learn, linger, and live the life we love. It's Friday, so it's my PowerPoint day. For those of you who are new, this is what I used to do in the yoga circle from 1985 to 2019. Little presentation literacy with some images. This one is called The Mind Gym. The Mind Gym. First, I want to start off with a review of Erik Erikson's Stages of Psychosocial Development. Really interesting idea here to see the age and then the tasks that the ego has to deal with. You know, when you're an infant, you learn to trust or mistrust. The world is not a safe place. And when you become a toddler, you have to develop some kind of autonomy. You're on your own, unless you're shamed into not touching, not speaking, not doing. You carry that on. When you're 3 years old, now you're supposed to show some kind of initiative as you get into preschool or school. If you don't do well, you start feeling guilty about not measuring up. Then 5 to puberty, you're really teaching yourself how to be industrious, how to focus, how to work. And if you're not up to snuff, as you start being compared to other people with grades, you kind of feel inferior. But then when you get into your tumultuous teenage years, there's a big identity crisis. Who am I? And a role confusion. Right? If you don't know who you are, how am I supposed to fit in? How am I supposed to contribute? And if you carry that on into your early 20s, up into your beginning of midlife, you could say, you're striving for some kind of intimacy. And if you don't get it, then you feel isolated, alienated, alone. And then when it gets into the late middle age, you're either a generative person, you've made your own way, you've learned how to bless other people along the way, or you're stagnant, you have no vision, you don't know what you're doing here. You have to question whether or not your whole life up to this point has been worth it. And if you make it that far, and there's no guarantee you will, then your last stage of life is ego integrity, harvesting everything you've done up to there and realizing that no matter what my seat was in the opera, it was a great spectacle. Or you're in despair and you feel like being alive wasn't worth it. All right, that's just for openers. But then, what are we really trying to do with our mind? We're trying to accept the Star Wars understanding, the mind gym. You have to be a pioneer of consciousness, make a quantum leap of your own potential, like the Starship Enterprise, to boldly go where no human has ever been before. And of course, what we loved about it was the international aspect of the Asian, the African, the Vulcan, right, the Scottish guy, right, and the different personalities that represent the crew of life. So, conversation is intercourse for the soul. We all need to be heard. It's strange how people promise each other everything except each other. And we need each other to find our way. We'll come back to that in a moment. Now, there are reasons to weep for the unbearable tragedy that exists all over the planet. But when we're bombarded with the images of the worst that we're capable of, what do we end up believing about each other? Shouldn't we be bombarded with the best images that we're capable of? And then we see, what do we believe about each other? So, either way, what gives you hope and what frightens the shit out of you? You got to confront these two things, because you can't let fear paralyze you. Fear is false evidence appearing real. Is there another perspective, another way of looking at things? An expanded outlook? Can we expand to vastness, or do we stay myopic? Well, one thing you have to learn is we have to work cooperatively and not competitively. We're all helping each other, trying not to fall off the log. You get it? And it's increasingly difficult to know what to do when they always ask you, what's the best move to a chess master? He'll say, always situational. I can't tell you what the move is until I see how the pieces are played. But the idea is that you have a competitor, an adversary, who provokes the best out of you. You want to win over the best, not somebody who isn't up to snuff and shouldn't be playing. Remember that the next time you get challenged. Now, we're all equal, but we're not all equally human. All beings are born human, but you have to learn how to be a human being. And that's role modeled by the people who taught you how to love, how to trust, how to appreciate, how to be considerate, or not. So you got to believe that we all have something to offer each other. Otherwise, what's the sense in talking to anybody? You know your life experience. You don't know other people's life experience. So learning about other people should be a tremendous buzz, tremendous insatiable curiosity to understand the diversity, not shutting each other down because you think you have nothing to give me. And then if you're curious about diversity, the deeper order will show itself because it's clear that we're a coat of many colors, sizes, shapes, pigmentations, belief systems, mindsets. Us, the whole planet. That's the family. Now, if you're threatened and fearful of what's being challenged, then we don't listen to anybody because we're afraid to change. Like it says in this little cartoon, this active workshop sounds useful. And the closed person says, well, why would I want to go to that workshop? Who shut them down? How did they not have burnished into them the love of learning? So stop pretending we can go it alone. Admit we don't know. And we can change if we think together. All of us are smarter than one of us. And everyone's smart in a different way. That's the beauty of intelligence. But no one person is smarter than all of us together. And so disengage is what yoga teaches you, right? Find time to go into your own meditative space and then come back, offer the gifts that you've learned in the solace of solitude, the solace and silence of solitude. Say that 3 times again. The solace and silence of solitude. And when you disengage and you find your inner yogi meditating, then you can come back and ask this question. What's your faith in the future? Do you have faith in the future? Do you believe in a vision for the future? Do you have a vision for the future? It's lack of will that we have, not integrity. So use your insight to make the world a better place that you want it to be. And lead by example. You become the poster child so everybody else can see what it looks like when you're completely committed to it. And your life is the demonstration, as Gandhi says, be the change you want to see in the world. Have a great day. Look forward to seeing you soon.